Hollyweird Strikes Again, guys. Hugh Heffner supposedly dabbles in the world of bestiality. Yes, you heard what I just said. If you don't know what that is engaging in relations with animals. Now, the reason why I'm going to talk about this and this specifically, now, there's been a lot said about Hugh Heffner recently. I'm not going to get into all of that because there's so many things that you guys can go and research all on YouTube. Fantastic content. If there's great content out there, I don't see the point in redoing stuff that's already been done really well. I just want to add or say what I think needs to be said. And I want to talk about this because there's a very important point that I want to make here, guys. And the point that I want to make is this. Now, Hugh Heffner is somebody that so many people in the world either looked up to, wanted to be like, wanted to be around, wanted to be with. And, you know, that's obviously because for those of you who don't know, which I'll be surprised if you don't know this, but if you don't, there's many things I don't know. I know because sometimes I feel like I live under a rock, if you know what I'm saying. But anyway, Hugh Heffner was the one who kind of started all this Playboy stuff, you know, the Playboy bunnies, yada, yada, yada. Okay, we know about Playboy. And obviously there's a lot been coming out about him recently because people have been kind of backtracking and saying, whoa, there was a lot of negative things that went on there. Now, we already knew that. Let's be honest. If we're all being honest with ourselves, we already knew there was a lot of negative stuff going on there. But us being human beings and the way that we are, you know, and the way that society has been, people didn't really have an issue. People are having an issue now. The reason why I want to talk about this is because of this. Hugh Heffner had access to women, the kind of access that so many men in the world would want to have, right? The kind of access that people are fighting for. People are paying money. Like, it still blows my mind that people pay money to have sex with somebody. Like, that's crazy to me, but people do it. Like, this is where we're at. Like, something that is literally free, something that God literally created to be a free, consensual interaction between two people is a business. We know that, right? Why am I talking about this? Because even with every single woman in the world at his disposal, I say every single woman, that's obviously not true because it's not every single woman, but with many women in the world at his disposal, Hugh Heffner still wants to choose to engage in interactions with an animal. Yes. And why am I saying this? Because, guys, this type of stuff goes way deeper than just people's desires and people wanting to live they want to live. Because there's this narrative in society today, right? The love is love. Love is love. Love is love. Everything is everything. You can do whatever you want. Just do what you want, right? I don't believe in that because, as I've said before, I believe in God. I believe in Christianity. Well, I believe in God. Christianity. I believe in God, right? And as a result of one of the main reasons I believe in God and I believe there is a need for God is because we as human beings, when left to our own disposal, will bring chaos because there is no line. We never draw a line. We think we will. This is why all of this love is love and this and that. This is not me speaking against the LGBTQ plus or anything like that. This is me speaking against principles that don't make sense, right? Because if you say love is love, love is anything, that is where Hugh Hefner is going with this, essentially. If he wants to be attracted to an animal, now he's attracted to an animal. Do you see how that doesn't work? Do we see how that doesn't actually add up at the end of the day? Like, so this is kind of where my problem is with a lot of this stuff, is that it's all well and good when we want to be understanding of everything and everyone, but where do we draw the line? Well, as far as society's narrative and society's principles, there is no line. That's why pedophilia is becoming a sexual preference. That's why. And people have been saying for years that this is going to happen. I've been saying for years this is going to happen. And people said, no way. Well, that's what happens when we have no boundaries. Because you see, with us as humans, it's not about us. When we have boundaries, like with Hugh, this is why I'm using Hugh Hefner is a great example for this. Him saying this, right, it has nothing to do with, like, it's almost like, if it was just about the sex, right, and him just wanting women, he has that. He has the access. If he doesn't have the access in terms of willing women, he probably could pay from a lot of the women out there, because a lot of women nowadays, especially if you don't have, you know, if that's a business you want to work in, which again, not my judgment call. Your body, literally, you do what you want to do with your body at the end of the day. God gave us all free will, yeah? But you're the one who has to explain what you've chosen to do at the end of your life. That part too. But you do what you want to do, right? So I'm not speaking against the women involved as such, right? But what I'm saying is, he has that access to do what he wants to do, and yet he still would choose an animal. And I think I think the Real was talking about it. They were saying how, you know, with one of the girls had basically said how he'd gotten so bored and how ugly the women were, which, by the way, that he said, oh, actually bring the dogs or something. So again, why have you had to, first of all, be so demeaning to women to then say that you'd rather like look at a dog or an animal or whatever in that disgusting way? Number one, it just goes to show that it's about way more than just people wanting to be able to do what they want to do. There is some sick, is it crazy that maybe it's true that some part of us as human beings, there is this sick, evil part that potentially can be tapped into, that can go past what even society deems to be acceptable. And even in asking that question, society is now accepting a lot of this stuff anyway. So I don't know, I just wanted to point that out, because I think a lot of the time when we talk about how, yeah, everybody should be having the right to do whatever. Now, like I said, I believe God gave us all free will. He said, look, you do what you're going to do. It's your choice. Yeah. Your body, your choice. Yeah. Your body, your choice. But guess what? You're going to be held accountable for your actions, and actions have consequences. And on top of that, let's stop blaming God for this crazy stuff that goes on in the world when it's people making the decision themselves to do this stuff. Why are we not leaving the dogs alone? Why are we not leaving the children alone to have a childhood and to grow up and then to get to an age where they can give consent to whether they want to do something or not? Okay? If there's a 25-year-old woman, you know, and she wants to be with a 70-year-old man, go ahead, sis. Do your thing. That's your choice now. You are at that age. And I say 25 because honestly, I don't even think 18 is enough at this point. For people to be able to be considered an adult, I don't think 18 is enough. That's just my personal opinion. And I think the fact that people can legally have sex at 16 and get married at 16, I mean, again. But anywho, let's just leave that there, actually. You know what? Before I get too passionate about all of this stuff. What is the solution here? Because I have my solution over here, which is that God has a Bible. God has boundaries. Woohoo! Maybe God was right after all. And if we follow those boundaries, number one, it protects us. Actually, it protects us. It protects children, you know, and it stops the world from going to such a point of chaos where, you know, things that 50 years ago we thought we would never see, we're seeing now. And I mean, it's not uncommon. Child trafficking is happening. We know this stuff that happens, guys. We know that there is even, you know, you can even watch content out there of people engaging in these behaviors with animals. You know, it's just horrendous. It's horrific. You guys tell me what the solution is. If the solution isn't God, what is the solution? That's what I want to know. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button. Please check out my other videos where I talk about lots of different things, ask lots of different questions. And I love to hear from you guys. So, of course, comment, like I've said. Don't forget to like the video as well. And I recently mentioned that I have opened 2 other new channels as well. So if you want to hear about those, what they're all about, check that out in the description box below. Other than that, I'll see you guys in my next one. Goodbye.